Hey sewing friends! So I thought tonight I would show you my first of the 9 Rhapsody blouses I plan on making, and then share with you some of the adjustments or changes that I want to make on my next Rhapsody blouse. And I know I'm a little stopped up. I'm still getting over, I guess, COVID. I feel fine and I've tested negative. I just have this lingering kind of sore throat, stuffy nose going on. So excuse me if I sound a little different tonight. So I chose to make the sleeveless version of the Rhapsody top, and the fabric I used or chose was this Marley lawn. I think it's a really cute Marley lawn that I had in my stash from Lady McElroy. And the fabric suggestions on the pattern do state that lawn, cotton lawn, is a suggested fabric, but I think the pattern overall lends itself to a more drapier fabric, but I wanted to give it a try to see what a more structured lawn type fabric would look like in the Rhapsody. And I have to tell you, I'm not disappointed. I am not disappointed. Now, before I cut into the fashion fabric, I decided to make a muslin. And to be honest with you, it's because I found some muslin in my sewing room when I cleaned it out a little bit. I went, I haven't seen you. I didn't know I had you. So I went ahead and made a muslin just to get a good idea of what the fit was going to be so I could make any adjustments to the pattern. And the one adjustment that I did notice as I was cutting it out is they have, like, you know, the little crosshairs where the apex goes. So I went ahead and marked that with a pin, because just about every pattern where they have that bust apex little symbol, it's always way too high on me. Even the patterns that use a full bust adjustment and all, or use a fuller bust cup, they're always, the bust is way too high on me. So I went ahead and marked it with a pin and then tried on my muslin, and I was like really quite impressed and surprised that the pins that I had were actually pretty spot on. They were maybe 1/4 of an inch too high, but they were pretty spot on, especially compared to all the other patterns that I've used. And then I was looking in the mirror at the muslin, and I was just blown away by the top. I mean, I'm just like, this looks fabulous. And all it was, I didn't do any of the ties or any of the bias binding. I just basically sewed the front to the back and the yoke together to get an idea of what the fit was going to be and like what the look of the top was going to be, especially since the muslin had a little bit more structure in it than, let's say, a viscose. So anyhow, I'm looking at myself in the mirror going, this looks fantastic. Oh, I was just so impressed. It's like, no wonder you guys have made 3, 4, or 5 tops for yourself. So I went ahead and took it off and didn't even look to think of all the adjustments that I might want to make. I was just like so blown away with how attractive the top was looking on me. So then I go and take off the muslin and I lay out my fashion fabric and I cut it out. And by that time I'd cut it out, kind of my excitement had kind of quieted down. And I think I'm going to sneeze. Hold on just a moment. I'm going to put you on hold because I think I have to sneeze. Oh, goodness. My nose feels better. So anyhow, I had laid out the fashion fabric, my, cotton lawn. Oh, here comes another one. Sorry, guys. Okay. And I'd cut it out, and by then, as I said, my excitement had kind of died down, and I realized, Carol, when you had the muslin on, you didn't even check to see fit or proportion or anything. I was just so excited about the top. And then I went ahead, and even though I'd cut all the pieces out, I went ahead and put the muslin on again, and I realized, probably should have shortened it. I should have done a sway back adjustment, So I kind of knew that coming into this top, that this first version, it was going to be, you get what you get. I mean, there are some adjustments I can make, on the fly, but some of them I should have made prior to cutting out the fabric. So here's my first attempt at the Rhapsody. It's a sleeveless version, and let me go ahead and tell you some of the adjustments that I want to make on the next one. So one of the first adjustments I want to do is a sway back adjustment. I mentioned this before, that I just have a shorter length from my back to my waist than I do from my front to the waist, and just like I have a bigger chest that's going to require adjustments on a sloper that is made for a B cup. I think I'm going to just have to start doing sway back adjustments on slopers that don't accommodate a sway back. And then I think overall I want to shorten the length. I actually cut 2 inches off of this. I haven't hemmed it yet, but I did cut 2 inches off of it, and then I went around with the serger because I do plan on folding it over. But I just haven't decided if I want to maybe trim another inch off or again. And if I follow the guide on the pattern, I would cut out a large for the bust and then blend it to an extra large at the waist and the hips. But I decided to just cut out a extra large for the whole pattern. And at first when I was trying it on, I think, you know, maybe I need to do the large, but now I'm not so sure, because I'm not sure if, I mean, there seems to be a little bit of room here, but there also seems to be just the right amount of room here. So I'm not sure if I'm going to, I actually had started tracing out a large and then blending it to an extra large at the waist and hips, but now I'm just not so sure. So I think I might try that on my next one just to see, just to compare, and then maybe use a bigger seam allowance so that if it doesn't work, I can just, you know, make a smaller seam allowance and we'll still have a top that's wearable. So as I said, I do like the beachy vibe of this material. So I think what I want to do is I want to go ahead and make the dress version in this, because I think it would make a really cute dress to wear on the weekends, you know, when you're going to the mall or when you're going out to lunch, you know, with my husband. And then I think it might make a really nice little dress to wear while we're on vacation. So I mentioned at the beginning of this video that I thought this pattern lent itself more to a drapier fabric. So my next Rhapsody I am making out of a viscose. It'll still be the sleeveless one, just out of a viscose. So if you want to see what it looks like made in a viscose with some of the adjustments that I had talked about before, or if you want to see what my dress looks like out of this beachy material, go ahead and hit the subscribe and notification button. That way you will be able to follow along with the series and you can see all the Rhapsody blouses that I plan on making. So that's all I have for tonight. Until then, until next time, I'll see you later. Bye guys.